Yo, what's up, guys? We're here with my boy Chris. Chris, tell him what's up.
Hola, ¿qué tal, mi gente? Su amigo Chris aquí con mi amigo Ethan. Les invito a que sigan su canal de Happy Pit Project. Los mejores videos de BJJ están ahí. Y no se les olvide seguir mi página también, que es Mundo BJJ en español.
Yeah. Yo, like, share, subscribe.
My God, look at this. I can't believe it. I don't believe that he got up. I think he hasn't gone to sleep and just said, hey, let me go to BJJ today. So, different. When you're young, you could do that. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you a really quick story. When I was younger, a long time ago, on your back, right? Yeah. So when people tell me about that, that's, man, I never miss BJJ. Yeah. So I'm like this. And the reason I'm starting like this from the Z-guard is that we just really have been working leg entries. That's what we've been, and I want to keep the leg entries going. But I also don't want, there's some people like, listen, if you're really into fighting, like you're not going to sit back on a leg. So I understand like some people are like, I don't really care about, I don't want to sit back on. If my idea of being self-defense, really fight, like we're not sitting this way when the fight's up there, okay? So, but I want to show them to you because on the flip side of it, maybe potentially you might be you might be the bound player, and the moment you see him go for it, you already know to react in a defensive set. So you're like this in a Z guard. So I'm going to ask, because I also want to take both parties in that, that they get to work something. Okay, so you're like this in a Z guard, and all you're doing is reaching back. Pretty simple. The drill is 2 parts. All I'm doing is kicking this leg back and stuffing this ankle. So what I really want to do is get by this shin, right? That's the one that's giving me the problem right now. So I'm like this. All I'm doing is reaching back. I'm kicking this leg aggressively and stuffing it. My upper body has never come up because I want to keep the pressure on this kneecap. So I don't want this kneecap to do this, come out, regain its strength. I'm like this, covering it so that it doesn't come out. If remotely I see him pull it up, I move up also because I can't let it come out, because then he'll regain this shin, okay? So you're like this. All you did was this. You're in a Z-guard set. You'll kick this back or drive forward. Either way, I'll let you go either way. If you can get in front of this kneecap with this leg, any form of it, we come this way, right? And if we can't, and we're like this, we pin bottom leg. So those are just rule of thumb staples to put in your head, right? Either we pin it with a thumb grip or here, and I've always explained why. Because if I step early, he's going to catch this leg. He's going to lift me up, and now he gets to go for his footlock entry. I don't want that to occur, right? But I'm also going to say that there are people, right? So you have 2 parts to this, right? On this one, let me just show this, just in case you guys aren't familiar with it. I stuff this ankle and pull it through, and now these legs are in front of me. I'll show it from both sides. If this leg can come in front of here, I have an opportunity to come this way. If I can't, don't do it. If the probabilities of getting by are just too low. I'm like this. So for that side, all I'm doing is taking my kneecap and putting it in front of yours. Now I can either go driving into a mount, or I can backstep it, put position in here, and then come into a side control set, right? So now you serve both ways. You can pick which one you want to do. It's more about the leg entry. I'm like this. And now before, when I went like this, right, he does what? He picks this leg up high because he realized I'm about to step over this leg, right? So he knows, right? So he does that. So I butterfly over his calf on the inside because he opened up this pocket. Why not take advantage of it, right? So now this leg came on the butterfly. Where am I going now? I'm not passing. I'm cupping his kneecap so I don't lose this limb. I already have inside position. This is just about me getting the leg over on the reap. So as I fall, I'm on the inside. There goes my heel, right? So you had 2 options on it, right? I told you what his reaction is. If he stays there low, why not just cover the leg and go into a pass, right? I'm like this. I'm trying to get by. He's got a good Z guard. I come back. First one, I stuff, right? Body doesn't leave. I shouldn't be like this. Body should be touching, push your rib out, your sternum, any form. I don't want to lose control of this kneecap. So my back leg kicks out. I'm just like exactly like this. I'm not losing control of that kneecap. So now I just step over, and we said, if we can pin this leg, we're going that way. That pin can be by this foot, right? That pin could be by this hand. I'm like this right now. Why can't I just put my hand on here and back step on it? Or the other way is if I get this way and I'm like this on this stuff, I put these kneecaps in front and I've got in front of his kneecap, I can either back step this way or I could drive this way and go into a mount. I could do either one, right? But on the second one, bottom player, try to be focused on the moment, okay? You're like this and you go pull back, and as you come back this way, he lifts up because he doesn't want to get his foot caught. Otherwise, if he's like this, I'm just going to catch his foot. So he lifts up, I butterfly in, right? I made all one motion. Now the only thing I care about is not letting go of that kneecap as I fall back. You know where this leg's going. It's going on the reap on the inside, but I don't want to lose this limb. So I was like this. So as I fall back, I cup this kneecap, right? All I cared about was falling back. I have control of this limb right now. So as I fall back, I throw on the inside. I've captured the limb. There goes the heel hook. You had two options. Let's run. I was like this, right? And what I wanted to do is take this leg out. I'm just going to tell you storylines, but I'm going to give you one, but I'm also got to tell you things that are going to occur during the sequence. You're like this, and you go pull this out, and he follows you. So I know I just told you, like you're sitting down here. How's this going to happen? It's going to go like this. You're going to sit back, like it'll never get out, right? Your first reaction is you're coming right back up. What's the essence of Kazushi, right? Kazushi is like you're rocking him off balance, right? There's no difference here, right? You just see it. It's obvious, like visually, when you're somebody's Kazushi'd on their feet, they're putting them all, maybe in reverse, like you think there's no, there is. So what is Kazushi, right? Recountering the balances, right? I'm like this, and now I jam up into this thigh, right? I was here in the beginning like this. Only thing I did different was I went 3 more inches, right? That's all I did because I kicked out. I went like this, and you didn't want to let go of me, so I jammed back up high, hoping to do this, right? And I'm like this because I don't know if I can. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. And now Kazushi back, it's really the same thing. I went low, I went high, I went low, I went high, because potentially, right, I'm in that position, but when I'm like this, trying to figure out if I can catch it, isn't he going to push me back? I drop back down again, right? And now I take my step again, right? So nothing gained, nothing. It's the same thing. I told you it mirrors each other and they disguise each other in different ways, but it's the same. It's a Kazushi. It's what it is. You can't give it that label because the guy's on the floor. I'm like this, right? We can play this in other combos, but for now we're like this. So we're seeing the leg lock entry. So when I tell you, when the opportunity starts on the attack, I tell those stories about John, that's why, like when I watch him, I'd go, dang, he saw the opportunity, dang, he saw the opportunity. Like it was there, it didn't go, he's like nonstop. Man, it's a nightmare. When he was younger, it was a nightmare to roll with him. I'm like this, right? And now what did I say before? I went, just try to play it like you're an actor. You're in your own dimension, right? Don't worry about your partner. Think about yourself. You're visualizing it. You're trying to kick out. He's got me bit. So I go hard. I drive up, hoping to do this. But now, as I'm trying to cup this guy here to figure out, because you potentially, right? What if he lifts this up higher? Okay, so I'm on a knee slide this way, right? So potentially he could do that. Potentially you might go, this freaking guy's not pushing back for me to do that. So, and I never cup this. Okay, so I lift my hips up and I drop my kneecap and I slide through, right? So I can counter it again, right? All I did was start the Kazushi of the in and out. So, but I can't, we'll go through, we'll drill these as the weeks go by so that the leg entries come from every angle. But for now, let's keep it in the 1, 2, 3, because we got to perfect them. And otherwise, it's nothing's done well. Heard that a long time ago. It's like, man, shit that starts bad just ends bad 90% of the time. So BJJ mirrors life. You're like this, right? I go here, and you could do them all, right? This was my first goal. Stuff, cover, go left or right on the pass, right? I'm like this. I go, I'm here stuffing. I go, dang, followed me. So I jam up high, hoping to do this. Butterfly, catch, pull back, right? That's what I wanted to do, right? But I'm like this now. And I went, follow, right? Jam up. He pushes back for, okay, I jam back. Drop again and come back. right? If I feel anything coming back at me, I'm dropping out also and coming back. So let's add that third one. You could go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We might run out of time. If we close, I'll add a fourth on the turns. We'll add a fourth, and then what we'll do is recapture it again on Monday and Tuesday, but add for different angles. Let's do it, guys. Is there some people, I know they're going through different sequences. This guy, he should never let you grab his ankle, right? That's really dangerous, and vice versa. Like if your ankles are getting grabbed like this, like don't stay there too long. It's just really dangerous because he's going to untangle himself, and the last thing is you want is for anybody to control your feet. But you like this, and then what's happening on one of them is that this is what happened just now. He kicks back, and this gentleman is extending his leg like this. The whole goal of passing, is, well, you don't know. You don't know if you're going to pass both legs with 2 behind 1 and then advance it, or 1 in, 1 out. Like this, you can't do this because the moment you kick back like this, I'm going, okay, I got in front of there. That's great. This was the idea of the Z-guard. So this person should have never extended this kneecap past my hip line, because now I become the better player. I don't want to say the better player, but I don't have to get this elbow. I can step back, and now you can hold my leg, and I can start dropping out. There's a lot of other passes, but I'm the guy. We're trading cards. I'm trying to get up. I'm trying to increase my value. So I just increase my value by getting in here. Now there's other things that go on up here, but we don't do that, okay? So that leg can't be passed in a Z. We got about 10 minutes, and I'll let you drill any combo of them. Try your best to visualize them. Try your best, right? Like really think about it when you're doing it, right? You're like this, and I just told you before, you grabbed his ankle, and you started this process. And fighting, you're not going to grab his ankle. You're going to stay up here, and you're going to pick this leg up. And now you're never going to let him kick me away, or we're back here. There's a different, I don't know why, I'm just only going to tell you this. And like, if he's an amateur and he doesn't really know what he's doing, this leg is the leg that you're going to pick up because he doesn't know how to get up. And I'm sitting on here, and now I'm dropping this kneecap to violently turn my hips, and that's where my power's coming from. So I'm coming in through. If you're a UFC fighter and you're super skilled, you can't pick this leg up, because what's going to happen is you pick this leg up, he's going to push you away, and now you're not going to own the bottom leg, and he's going to bring it up so quick on a retract. He should have been on a power prop, but Ape doesn't do MMA. He would have been up on a power prop, and now as he pushes me away with this leg, he retracts this, and he goes to his kneecap, and he starts stabilizing to get away from me. That's how they get up. So and if this guy's got to come up, because even if you pull, I'm going to lose this guy, right? So I don't want to let go of this leg. So in case he pushes me away, I'm like this, and now he's got to take this leg out, and as he takes that leg out, I'm running forward again because I can't let this leg beat me. So I just want to tell you the two differences. You're like this now. This is where we were, right? And I go bury this leg. I'm like this. Right? He doesn't want to let go of me, right? So I go up, right? I wanted to cover. Not happening, okay? So he's not pushing back, and he's like this. This is a hard pass to learn. I give Saeed a lot of credit. He does it really beautifully now. I'm like this at this point. My kneecaps are facing this way. I want my kneecaps totally facing the opposite way. This is how this happens. We're going to ask Ethan to stay still. My kneecaps, everybody, I'll go super slow. I said my kneecaps, I'm going to start going to a squat position, and now I'm going to face my kneecaps this way. So I remember I never let go of this ankle. So as I'm landing, this leg is pulling me forward, but I also understand I'm not going to get a normal pass. I'm changing the angle to come back. So as I drop this kneecap, this is what I'm looking like to step here to come right back. So I changed my angle. So my kneecaps were facing this way. Now they're going to face this way. And I'm going to drop my kneecap through the pocket. You're not ending up in a side control. Don't try to. It's the number one reason why you'll lose the pass, because you try to square rack hip. You're trying to change the angle from here to come back at that angle. But don't do this. Don't land this kneecap here, right? And we're like this. And now you're landing, and you're trying to square up. That's where his shin is. That's how they push you away. That's how they drive back, and now they suck out the bottom leg, and you're like, oh, damn, I just ended up in guard again. Shit, right? So I'm like this, right? Kneecap was up. If you just want to work this, we'll work this, and then we'll refine it in the next week. We're like this. I was here. I saw the leg. I couldn't pin it. I tried. I picked my leg the other way. So I remember before I was butterflying it this way. I'm going to butterfly it the other way. And now I'm going to just lift my kneecap. And what you're seeing me is in a squat position. But as I'm doing this, I was trying this, not happening. I butterfly the other way. I lift my kneecaps and I come through. As I come through, we didn't say we were going to square. All we're doing is dropping our knees and rotating them. So as I drop my knee, I just rotate. What's the big deal? Let's just talk, you might say, you look funny. If he lays on his back, he gave me the easiest side control pin in the world. If he comes to turtle, I had ownership of his elbow and his head. There's no impediment. You can't tell me that you can't overwrap his head. Can you get to a chin strap? I don't know. If I don't get to a chin strap, I run high. If you understand what I mean, put it in your head. I'm going to get this elbow on a pull-out, right? So I can come back at that angle multiple ways on him, right? So just try to put it in your head. You got about 10 minutes to drill any of them or all of them. I recommend that you drill. If you don't have multiple gold medals on your wall, drill. It makes killers. Don't do what sometimes when I scream about the senior guys, tell me, get off the mat, dude, if you're not going to drill. And I don't really care if you don't, because I know you've been here for so many years and you don't drill, and your game never refines or gets better. And the moment you go with a high-level black, he takes you apart because he knows your weaknesses like that. But I don't mind if you're going to stay in that section. What I don't want you to be is a poor influence on others. And then they see the senior, oh, he's a black. That's how he does it? No, come talk to me. I'll tell you how my version of his black is, right? So I don't want anybody in this room. I'm not pointing into fingers to anybody. I don't want anybody. This room's got to keep growing. So let's do it. You know when you're like this, pushing in, right? You're like this. And then I told you, okay, so now you're going to flare this guy out, right? And now you're going to start this process of doing this. And this is what I see some people doing. They're taking this leg and going like this, right? And then if we just think about this mechanically, when this kneecap drops, what gets this hip off this leg? It doesn't, right? Because I'm going to be like this. I'm going to drop this knee. And now somehow I can't even get myself over unless I push with this hand and go like that. I don't want that to occur. It's all about momentum, right? So I'm like this. And when I drop, my kneecaps come together right away because all I'm going to do is flip. I didn't have to use my hands. Right? Because now when he comes out on turtle, I want to be able to catch this. I want to be able to catch this. I want to be able to catch many things that are going to give me a great spot to take you down again. Right? I want to lace my hand in the center to catch the far side elbow. Like I want to go into a quarter Nelson cut on a dart. You want to keep going? We'll keep going. There's like so many. This side, you see it from the other side. I'm like this. I was like this. I'm pushing in, and now I'm dropping it. So I'm not going to put my kneecap, because if I put my kneecap, I got to kind of swing myself to get myself over, right? As I'm landing, and I'm like this, I'm going, huh? And my kneecaps are coming right together. I don't need my hands. Okay? Kneecaps are coming tight together. So the moment that one, I'll just flip it right away. And then I'm coming back at that angle, right? So this is what I saw a couple of times, like this. It goes super slow. I landed this kneecap through, right? And I put these guys together. And what I saw some people doing is trying to slide this hand through and trying to cup here. You can, you absolutely can. But on a high level guy, he's gonna come to turtle really fast, right? And now let's say even I did this. I'm like this, coming. This is like not good, right? I didn't want any of that. I wanted to be behind. I wanted to be not short on this. I'm like this landing. I land these kneecaps together. I make a flip. He's coming up the turtle. I catch up here. Right? You pull this back, I go, okay, I'm going to go right back into my guillotine. Right? So we can combo them up endlessly. Maybe on the back spin to come to the quadrant down here, you bring this leg up and I take that leg again. Keep going with it, right? So on Monday, we'll work that knee positions, and then you can understand mechanically. Some of the young men are adopting it now, Saeed, Martin. You'll see the speed of that flip. And when it's done right, you go, whoa, it almost seems like there's a second that's fast forward. So that's why I don't feel uncomfortable of you coming back this way, because most of the players won't fight for turtle position. They've never been taught to like, yo, you gotta stand up. Like they literally just try to recover guard. They're here, guy cuts and they're like, ah, it's like, yeah, no, he just came. I mean, listen, if you sit with me, you watch Zeke do this about 25 times on Saturday. Like, and then he just goes right from there. We got about a minute and a half before we go live. You want to grab water, mouth guards, coffee? Let's rock today.
Where I end up a little too perpendicular, ideally I should be trying to be a little further out, right?
And you're trying to take that arm from him if he gets lazy with it.
I can't be playing half guard like this, right?
You can if you want to do this. Let me show you. You're like this. Come on this side, Maddie. And you're like this. And potentially, he keeps grabbing onto my wrist here, right? So I push away and I pull with this. So the arm comes like this. The moment it's here, I don't want to let it go. But the moment I grab it, I put this foot on his hip because I'm going to keep pulling this arm. So now I can hit a triangle. I can take this arm another portion, right? So you can go for the far side. You can also come from it like this, but I'm not a fan of this one, Maddie. If you got this shoulder clamp so tight, you can flare this up and now start fighting for position over his head to take this on. I'm not a fan of it, and especially we're not big guys, so I'd rather you play from the bottom. So that's not, I don't want you making those big transitions. Yeah.
It was like an epiphany. Everybody's angling me, grabbing me.
Yeah. Ladies and